y'all. Welcome back to another episode of More Than the Title, episode 156. I'm your host, as usual, Jarrett, Chief Revenue Officer at Outside the Box Digital. And you know I got my brother, my brethren, your favorite CEO, Chadeo. What's good, baby?
Yo, what a week we had. Holy shit. Yo, you know, ladies and gentlemen, we told y'all. I need the pain face. Ladies and gentlemen, we told y'all what Black Week was coming up. We told y'all we was the official podcast for Black Week. We came, we saw, we conquered. That's all I'm gonna say with that. You already know you should have been there. But you know how we like to start. You know how we like to start every episode, man. G&T, grateful and thankful. We're super grateful to have the opportunity that we had to be the official podcast of Black Week. We're super grateful that we got a chance to wake up yet again today. You understand what I'm saying? To do what we love with a smile on our face. And we're thankful for all the supporters, all our guests, and just everybody, man, that has been an integral part in helping us grow and glow, like my cousin would like to say. G&T, baby, you know how we like to start the show?
Message. And we're going to start it off different. We're going to go straight into the intro, man, because Cuzzo talked about Black Week. We met these two brothers down there at Black Week. We was having a phenomenal time. And, yo, we talked about it, chopped it up, said we want to get y'all on the show. Very next week, these brothers are here on the show, and we appreciate them. So let's give them the proper intro that they deserve. First of all, their journey starts at Southern Illinois University as graduates running a successful seven-figure agency. They have major partnerships with brands like NBC Sports, BET Media Group, and Universal Music Group, and have used visionary ideas and creativity to redefine the digital marketing space. These brothers embody the entrepreneurial spirit, leadership, and showcase the importance of Black culture in branding. Aside from a successful multi-million-dollar business, they're dedicated to mentoring the next generation of Black and brown marketing talent. Let's introduce our brothers, the founders of Narratent Digital, Desmon Walker and Alan Shelton, y'all. Brothers.
That's a crazy intro. That's a crazy man. I'm gonna shed a tear over here with that intro, man. That was phenomenal, man. Y'all professional.
We bro. We've been doing it.
I love it. Y'all going places, man. I love it.
You on mute, cuz you going crazy. You on mute. Nigga, hit me with the.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Alan. I can't hear Cuzzo.
Chadeo is on mute.
Bumba Chadeo.
Now you're on mute again. Oh.
See, for the audio listeners, we don't want to have a dead space, but we're going to celebrate these brothers while Cuzzo worked through the technical difficulties.
And is it rocking?
Oh, now he's rocking and rolling.
Crazy.
We all good.
I was just saying, fellas, man, listen, we got to celebrate each other, man. We got to celebrate each other. We got to give each other, our flowers while we're still here. What you guys have accomplished is nothing short of amazing, and we're going to let you know that, right? It's not no everyday commonplace that people are doing what you guys did, so we're not going to act like it is. We're going to celebrate you guys for all the hard work and the dedication, the long nights it took to get to where you are now. We're going to make sure you know that we're proud of you guys. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact, though, bro. Let's start from that, bro. Yeah. Like, how did you brothers first meet? Was at college? Like, what was that one moment that got y'all together?
If I may, first and foremost, because you brought this, on the backs of Black Week, right? And I want to say that for me, Black Week, and for us, Black Week was really like a million-man march.
Facts.
Right? This right here is a byproduct of the essence of what that was intended to be for, right? And so we recognize that, like you said, what we do isn't common, right? And an event like we met each other at last week isn't common, and it really goes all the way back for us about 12 and a half years ago, before we would have classified ourselves as marketers. We were first generation students. Me and Alan coming from two different places. Him coming from south suburbs of Chicago. Me coming from Central Illinois to Southern Illinois University to student orientation. So me and him met very organically as freshman students. Before we were freshmen, we were still high school seniors, just sniffing around the campus, seeing what we could come up on, and kind of hit it off from there. And so I know Alec can share more as far as like where things took us after orientation.
Yeah, man. Like Dan said, very organic. and as you brothers know, man, everything happens for a reason, right? We were at Black Week for a reason. We received and planted seeds that we'll see immediately, and we planted seeds that we'll see down the road. For us, it was a culmination. A culmination of all of that at a very early age. We were 18 years old, man. We're not old now, like we're only 30, 31, but like that feels like a long time ago, especially at that development age at 18 going into college. You know, you're a sponge, right? You're learning a lot and you're seeing a lot, and what you take in those few years while you're in college or navigating that stage of your life is very important and affects everything else down the road. So we were blessed and fortunate enough to go into college and find a love for marketing very organically. Didn't even realize we were doing it, right? We were involved in organizations, fraternities that allowed us to market to the students, right? Which is our first audience, right? And we were good at it. And we recognized very early on that people were attracted to a product, whether that product is an event, whether it's, a party, whether it's just an idea or knowledge that you're dropping. We saw and garnered that attention, and we were like, hold on, like this planted that seed. We just kept on stacking up. So fast forward to after college, and Des and myself, we got into marketing, but in different realms. I went into more of the real estate marketing route. Des went into more sales, TV advertising, sales on that side. But we always had that seed planted, and we came together, and we decided in 2019 we were doing like some side projects, some website stuff on the side, and we decided like, hey, we might as well just make this official, man. And to start a business. All right, let's put some money in an account, and let's just get some benefit from the work that we're doing. And we've always worked well together, and we just kind of stacked upon that. And it sounds like a very simple story, but simple things are the best way to kind
not simple at all, bro.
Yeah, I just want to say, Alan, Des, you could tell the truth. Y'all motherfuckers met at a frat party, didn't you?
I was about to say this.
Yes,
He was slipping around figuring it out. I know what that is.
I just want to know who had the keg and who was doing the pong shot. Y'all was twisted and y'all. What happened? Tell the truth. You can tell. We your brothers, man. Y'all met at a frat party. Omega Psi Kappa.
Hey, nah. No, we actually. We did run into each other at a frat party early on after we got on campus and stuff like that. But it was just all love, man. We're still getting to know each other, still getting to know ourselves in college and everything like that. But funny story, man. We actually didn't get admitted to SIU right away, man. Like when they told us that, like, hey, y'all don't meet the threshold to make it to SIU, right? I know personally I didn't apply myself as well as I could have in high school. I think we all can relate in some way, shape, or form to that. Right. But SIU gave us a chance through like a provisional program, and we pretty much had to come in and prove ourselves, right? So we looked at that as an opportunity, and we believe that once you let somebody in the door, once you let us in the door, then we kicking that thing down.
But it was something else that you said too, Alan, bro. It was like, yo, you were just, soaking up the information, trying to figure out who you're going to be, bro. But I definitely want to give y'all credit. It's what information y'all decide to soak in, what lessons y'all decide to take in, bro. That's the major thing, bro. Like you going in it, like just knowing that you got to prove yourself. We got to prove ourselves regardless, right? And you guys identifying each other, being like, I'm going to start a business with. How many homies you got that you can never bring that fucking idea up to?
Mm-hmm.
We can't shy away from that, bro. Like I picked Cuzzo. I could have my brother. I could have anybody on the show, bro. But guess what? I know his mindset. I know how he gonna give it up. I know how I'm gonna give it up. You're gonna work together, and it's by hook or crook. We're gonna make this shit happen. You gotta have them similar mindsets, but also have to be different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Work ethic plays a lot into any type of success, right? You don't even have to be the most talented person out there. Mm-hmm. People think that, I'm not as talented as this one, talented as that one. Talent is dope. Don't get it wrong. If you truly talented or naturally talented, hey, that's dope. But hard work be talent every single day. Hard work be talent every single day. Twice on Sundays. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's the person that is willing to be consistent that you will end up learning what you're doing better than the person that naturally has an ineptitude for it but doesn't practice it. Because anything that you do that you practice, eventually you get better and better and better at. You know what I mean? So, you guys you guys have faith in each other that you were willing to put in the work that it took to get to whatever vision it was that, you know, you both seen for this company. And I think that's the key part. I'm pretty sure you've run into Desmond. You got a lot of family members or friends that are, you know, smarter, you know, so and so, and same as you, Alan. But when you think about business and think about going into business with them, then it's yeah, I don't know if I really want to do that.
That's a good segue question to y'all both. Sure. But what qualities was it that y'all saw in each other to say, yo, we're gonna start this business?
Man, I'll let you go, Des. But for me, it was, we saw things in each other at an early age in college, right? Like that was, you know, we played the same fraternity. We had to really orchestrate events and whole weeks and entire all this stuff, stay up late, sacrifice, you know, still go to class, still, you know, achieve at a high level, and no excuses really. So like it wasn't anything that needed to be proven. Yeah, when it came to that, and it was just like we've seen it, right? And if we could do that at 18, 19, 20, 21, when you're supposed to be messing up, trying to fumbling and be undisciplined, how's that gonna look when you get older, you get to that, you know, after college stage, post college stage, and now you're taking it serious, right? So like it was what's understood and had to be explained on my end, you know, and I think Des can test to that a bit too.
Message.
Yeah, I will put it like this, man. College was a test run, fortunately, for almost everything we face day to day. So because we said to ourselves, and because we recognize in each other that for us, our rubric in terms of success wasn't just academics to show up in the classroom. It was, we got to show up in the classroom by that's mandatory, right?
Yeah.
But it's really what we did outside of the classroom with the extracurriculars, the fraternity, the student government. Alan sat on the board of trustees of the university as a student trustee. Programming council, which put on concerts and comedy shows and all these other kind of events on campus. It really gave us the tools and the skills needed to be more than just students, but learning the business and professionalism side of what we had to ultimately get into after college anyway. So that's what I mean by the trial run, and then recognizing in each other that I think Alan and I, whether it's the working together in college or to this day, we have a great mixed bag between business ability and creativity, and we're both like left brain and right brain, right? So
I thought about it, but
I thought about it too, but I was like, it was something else I let slide.
Was it the tone? Well,
the speed I let slide.
I thought about it, but finger was on the trigger. I was like,
I don't know. It was debatable. My bad, y'all.
Sometimes it's just the tone, and sometimes
sometimes
the way you say things.
y'all got it. But no, in all seriousness though, we are both visionaries at different times. Like I've had times, like go back to college real quick. We had this task on our hand to plan a whole week of homecoming events for the Black students on campus.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And up to that point, the campus really hadn't had a large scale event for Black students for 3, 4, 5 years. And so we tasked ourselves as an organization to bring that to life. Some people call that a market need, right? In a space. And Alan had this idea, because we couldn't find anywhere to throw this party at, to do it at a skating rink. And of all places to do a party at, I'm like, how are we going to have a party? We're not doing a skating party. Why are we putting it in a skating rink? And he's like, no, think about it. Like, it's a space. We don't have to skate. We just need the space. We can take it from there. And it was his idea, along with support from me on the logistics side, that brought that to life. And I think we made like 20 grand as college students off of that event.
Damn!
So on the other hand, though, I can, come to Alan with the vision for something. And although it's my vision, he can, receive it and then take it and be like, all right, here's how we gonna actually make it happen.
20,000 American? For your
pesos. It was pesos, bro. It was pesos.
That's just because I'm just saying, like, for somebody that has never done, and first of all, again, I know that you've done it. Oftentimes when we accomplish something or we do something, right, because we've done it, you don't really get a chance to appreciate what you just did because you're inside the box looking out instead of outside the box looking in, right?
Yeah.
Think about what you just said. You're in college. You just got accepted on technically an educational probation program, right? It's almost the same thing as if you get accepted into college and you drop below a certain average, they put you on education probation. Like, yo, if you don't pull this average up, we're going to kick you out, right?
Exactly.
So you already get in college and you already got to prove yourself. And that means, like, yo, the pressure's on. No fucking around, no extreme partying. We got to be focused because we've been given a chance. We don't want to blow it.
Yep.
18, 19 years old. Now, technically, you guys have not run a business before at that point, right? You've never run a business before at that point. And you take it upon yourself to not only organize an event of that scale, but make it that profitable at that age, 18, 19 years old. I think that's absolutely phenomenal. That's absolutely phenomenal. You know what I mean? And I really think that you guys should, really take the time to give each other a pat on the back and say, yo, we did that. In the midst of never having that done at that college, like you said, in the last 3-4 years, it was nothing. You created a transformative experience that the culture, that college culture hasn't seen in quite some time. That's phenomenal, fellas.
They're probably keeping the tradition up, still doing this shit like that, bro. That's fire, man.
That's right, man. And you got to take time to celebrate those small victories. I know you did it, and you're like, yeah, we did it. Let's move on to the next. But take the time to celebrate those small victories because I'm pretty sure that it took an enormous amount of work to pull that off.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say too, bro. Like, so now after y'all graduate college, because I'm curious from both of y'all, right? Y'all both was in marketing. One was in real estate. One was in sales, right? In sales, right? So bust it. I know for me, bros, I was in corporate for 12 years. What was the straw for me was I done been through everything. I sold SEO, programmatic, display advertising, out of home, social media listening, you name it, bro. Like, I was a beast. That's what made me a marketer. And I just applied them same marketing skills that I was applying to the people I'm selling to, applied to my personal brand, and we took off. But I'm getting this shit for brands. I'm doing 5 million impressions for another brand, and they doing a layoff, and I got laid off. I'm like, how the fuck I'm getting laid off? Yeah. And I'm hitting quota, and I'm doing all this, and y'all parading me around like I'm the motherfucking brand because y'all want to be cool and progressive.
Right.
And it was a wrap for me. And I said, yo, cuzzo, we out of here. We're going to do boom, boom, boom. And we're going to turn this into a business. We're going to make it happen. Was there something, a event like that for both of y'all in working that was like, yo, fuck that? Because, us as Black, our experience is different.
Well, first off, man, while we handing out flowers, hats off to you, Jarrett, and hats off to you, Chadeo, as well. And because of that proactiveness to say fuck it and put yourself out there is how we even bumped heads last week, is because off the bat, through having a conversation with y'all, I'm like, I know exactly who you are. You don't know that I know who you are, but I know from seeing you come across through, a former company that you were at, and then even still thereafter following you just strictly on the internet. I'm like, I know you, Jarrett Thomas, so that's good stuff, bro. Good stuff, because everybody can do that.
But look at what you did too. Like, and this is what we talking about, Des. Like, it takes a certain type of energy, right? You know how we are sometimes as men, right? Our culture, you don't want to be like, yo, I know you. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, yo, I know you. Like, I follow you. Like, you know what I mean? Or you might have inspired me. That's why Black Week was so dope, because nobody, no matter what your economic level was, no matter what your success level was, nobody was on that type of time. If you met somebody and you was following them, or you were a fan of people were letting you know right then and there in the moment. That's why it was such a special thing. We did that to so many people that we walked up to like, bro, yo, I follow you. Like, Nate, you're my inspiration. I love what you're doing. And it just goes to show that we are human beings. You don't need to be tough all the time. You understand what I'm saying? It's okay to be like, yo, something inspires you, because we get inspired by things all day, every day, right? From different sources, we get inspiration, and it helps us to move forward, right? So, that's why I can't keep talking about how successful that event was, because it created that culture where everybody was on that type of time. Now, had you not said that, in that moment, we might not be here right now. Had you to be like, yeah, I know who those guys are, but I ain't gonna say nothing. I don't want to look like,
you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers.
You understand what I'm saying? Or just,
they think they should.
Yeah. I'm following you. You know what I'm saying?
Some people be on that. You know how it be, bro.
You understand?
The mug, man.
And like you said, some of the seeds you planted, you're gonna see fruit from immediately, right? They'll develop immediately, but some of the seeds you plant, they're gonna develop later on. And then there's another one. Some of the seeds that you plant are gonna develop now and continue to develop later on. And that's one of these seeds right here. But it's only possible if we're all on the same page and we're open and honest with each other to be like, yo, bro, you inspire me. Yo, bro, I like what you're doing. How do we connect without the, the tough guy shit? Like, oh, I don't, I just
the ego and all that.
Yeah, the ego is a killer. That's Alan. Ego is a killer, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It gets you a lot further too. If you in a box, we've been blessed and fortunate enough to say like, hey, we're gonna ask the questions, we're gonna shake the hand, we're gonna meet the people, we're gonna, we're not gonna be afraid to not know everything, because who knows everything? You know what I'm saying? If I'm in my box and I'm afraid to, talk to somebody new or see somebody I'll probably never see again in a long time, whatever the case may be, I'm limiting myself in my trajectory, and that's never something that we want to do. We've always been that way, and it's gotten us far, and it will continue to get us far. Y'all brothers. So we appreciate that. But to answer your question, Jarrett, about the corporate America thing, man, I'm not gonna pretend and sit here and act like I was in corporate America for 20 years, or anything like that, because I know that's the reality, especially for the generation that came before us and things of that nature. Yeah. But one thing Des and I always talk about is that we saw the beginning, middle, and end of corporate America very quickly, right? We got in and we could have been amazing in corporate America. We understood how to talk, how to code switch, how to shake hands, how to do all that. And, we're professionals. We've been that way. We learned how to be that way. But we decided and we were blessed and fortunate enough to start something that is a once in a lifetime opportunity, right? And we always told ourselves like, all right, if the very bottom is us having a nice, cushy 6-figure plus paying corporate job, you know what I'm saying? That's the bottom, right? What does the top look like? What does the top look like?
Hey, yo. I wasn't going to press that button. I was going to do the message.
All right.
Hey, y'all really get a kick out of them.
Y'all curated those. Y'all got those.
YouTube loves it, bro. We got to. We trying to grow.
They go crazy. They go crazy.
But that was the idea, man. That was really the idea. So we could have stayed in there and kept it comfortable and do what we did and grow. But we just like, hey, like this is an opportunity, so we're gonna say fuck it and see what this is. And if we have to go back, cool. But we don't see that because we bet on ourselves, and that's what happened. So
there you go, man. I think everybody's comes to a point in time in their life through maturity where you say, I'm not doing this shit no more. Like, enough is enough. You understand what I'm saying? Right. Like, I know what the world might want me to do, or I know what my family might want me to do, my friends might, but I'm not doing that no more. Like, you understand what I'm saying? And everybody reaches that point at different times in their life, right? In different stages, right? And it's very important to understand when you've reached that point, because once you've reached that point, it's almost impossible for you to continue to operate optimally with whatever you're doing, because you've already mentally checked out.
It's like taking a blue pill. You're out of the matrix. You see everything for what it is. Like, you're like, damn. If I'm making this salary, what are they making on the back end? I just closed a $100,000 deal. I got this on the commission portion. And what is this? How is layoff still being done? And how is this happening? How is the business working as a whole, bro? And you actually doing something there, and you'll never be appreciated the way you would appreciate yourself. And if you got to take that sacrifice to say fuck it, and there's a lot you brothers know, especially in the beginning, hard days, bro. Some days you're not going out. Some days you're not copping those Jordans the way you may want to. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, you know what I mean? People you thought was down for you ain't down for you. It be like that, bro. Like,
I hop in here though and put a little spin on it. So it's a lot of people out there that had this conversation, right? Yeah. And the question always remains, like, how? You can know when you fed up. You can know when you want to say fuck it. But what's that moment that really decides when it's right. And my idea of that is for people to start thinking more like a business itself.
Okay.
When they're thinking about what's that moment, what do I really need to do to get from step, 0 to 1 to actually make this happen, right? And so as a business, Jerry, you were just alluding to like how talking about, hold on, 100,000 here, another number, putting that side by side. Like businesses have to make numbers make sense to decide whether they cutting back or they add to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Making investments. And as a person, you got to look at your finances and say, if I'm making this much, what do I need to live? Like mandatory bills, right? What's just a level of comfort that I can go without, right?
Yeah.
And so practically speaking, for myself, that's a conversation I had to have. And so it wasn't a, wake up, I'm through with it. It was, what does real estate look like? What does a quick multifamily unit investment look like? It's not retirement type of time, right? But that's a couple grand off of my overhead on life that puts me a little bit closer to saying I don't need a 9-to-5, right?
Yeah.
Message.
2020, I bought a multifamily apartment building here in the city of Chicago, which took off, some of that overhead, right? Second multifamily unit a year and a half, 2 years later. Now I'm good as far as rent is concerned completely because that's making itself.
Yeah.
And then lastly, kind of the third step in that process that Alan and I shared together was really getting a knock on the door from our first big client that said, hey, we, are in this thing called a pandemic.
Yeah.
A guy by the name of George Floyd has gotten killed. A lot more people seem to be interested in investing in Black-owned businesses, including Black-owned marketing agencies, and we're looking for one. So what would that cost? It might cost this, it might cost that. What do you need? All right, well, we got 200 grand to spend. Oh, here's what we can do for you in return. Does this make sense to you? Yes. Does it make sense to us? Yes. Cool. That's what we need, Alan.
200 off the rip. Fire.
I mean, but again, I know they called you, Des, and said this is what we need, right? But where's the backstory to that? The backstory is you put yourself in position to even get that call.
That's a
you
fact.
put yourself in position for a company to even think about feeling comfortable offering you 6 figures for your first interaction together doing business. You understand what I'm saying? And again, that for your first deal to be 6 figures, that is not an everyday. You understand that? That's what we talking about when we say like you gotta enjoy your successes, because most companies start small, couple $100, right? Couple $100, 3 figures, then maybe 4. Okay, I got my first couple thousand. Then you started off a 6-figure client right off the back. So you right out the gate. You
started to the point. That wasn't our first one, right? I know Alex.
That was the
one. I guess the point I was trying to make is that was the one that was
the catapult.
Okay, got you. Right? Okay.
But it did start with that $100 website project, that $200 website
there
project.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It started with the visibility. To your point, like you gotta be where you expect to be found before anything else. So when somebody goes to Google looking for Black marketing agencies, are you on those listicles to be found? Is there a contact information? Is there a portfolio? Who cares if it's the most perfect portfolio or it's got the Pepsis and the McDonald's in it? Just have something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Message.
And one thing I always say, like, we're always going to be advocates for our community, right? We're not better. We don't look at ourselves better than anybody or anything like that. But we're gonna be honest with our community. So one thing I think we struggle with as a community, as business owners, as Black business owners, is that we have all the talent in the world, all the talent, like more talent than a lot of people. But we don't position ourselves and we don't build an infrastructure around whatever product or service that we offer, right? We think talent makes up for not being professional, not being on time, not, you know what I'm saying, not having everything in order, not communicating effectively, not getting official paperwork and documents that are gonna. Do you need this to operate? Maybe not, but it's just gonna make you more official. Is it gonna make you like when you start to step into the bigger rooms and start talking to bigger people? Is that's gonna make you more believable and more like respected? Yes. So like, yes, take that step. You know what I'm saying? So
my biggest pet peeve, y'all, is when I see someone I went to school with on Facebook selling plates or selling some kind of product. And when somebody comments and says how much or has a question about their product, the answer is always DM me.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Everybody has to start from the ground up. And this is no way shitting on that process. Obviously, we had to go through that process. But I think there's a fundamental understanding that, you know, you have to make your business viable. You know what I mean? And so that means, you know, the website, coming up with the price structure. That's not to say they can't evolve, right? But still having those, you know, things that Alan is talking about is key to going from, like, we can talk about starting businesses all day, but when do we start talking about scaling the businesses?
You gotta listen to him. You learn something.
I hate that shit too. It's terrible user experience. Simplify the customer experience. That's what you need to do. Simplify. Say how much it is, and you should be confident in your pricing. But I'm curious from you, brothers, though, how many iterations of the business to get to that $200,000 deal? You started with a website. You probably was like, shit, we ain't making enough margin on that. Yo, let's do the social media thing. All right, that's pretty decent margin there. Let's do content because we get less overhead there and we could do it in-house. Like, how many iterations of that to get to that?
Yeah, man, it was quite a bit. And it's and we talk about iterations, right? Like, I will be lying and we say we came together and be like, okay, we gotta add this now. It kind of it started off building websites, right? Just to be very practical. Started off building a website. That was our bread and butter, starting early on. Because we have experience like building no-code websites, right? So that's when we started to get our foot in the door a little bit. But we also understood being multifaceted. So we understood social media from just like from a personal perspective. Yeah. Right. So we started to layer that in. It came to the point where like websites were like 100%, close to 100% of our business early on. To now social media is like, and content is like 90+% of our business. Right. So it flipped on its head a bit, but we had to build up enough what somebody told us. It's actually interesting. Marcus Collins. I don't know if you had a chance to see him speak at Black Week.
Dr. Collins?
Dr. Collins. Yeah, Dr.
He
Collins.
did on the show, bro. He was on the show 2 months ago. My brother.
Yep. Quick story. We met him for the first time. I think this was in 2022 at Inbound, which is a big marketing conference they do every year in Boston. Mind you, we didn't know him from a can of paint, knew his stuff a little bit, walked up to him after he interviewed Viola Davis, walked up to him, and our agency 2 years ago, 2022 feels like a long time now, but it really wasn't. But we walked up to him and said, like, hey, we're trying to scale. We're trying to get big. What are some ways to do that? He said he kept it a beans. We call it out here. He said, hey, y'all need to have case studies. I need to build case studies. I need to have arsenals of believability around what people are going to be invested in. We're like, man, how are we going to get case studies if we need to work with clients to get the case study? But he said it, and that was very true because we spent our time trying to find, even with the smallest performance indicators, we use that to try to, not magnify, but just display, even if it's the smallest tick, right? And that got us to the point of being able to get our next client and our next client. Now we have real life case studies that shows millions of impressions and things like that. So now it's less of the case study, which we're always looking to build. And now it's more of like, okay, how do we position ourselves in front of certain clients that we want to really work with, right? So it started, so in terms of like that marginal scale, it happened, right? We asked the questions and we let the business and the needs of our clients dictate and tell us what we needed to add more of, and then go where the money and go where the attention is going in terms of that. So that's how it kind of worked for us, and we're still developing that, and we'll develop more. AI is out now. There's a lot of we stepped into the production space, which you brothers are familiar with. So like there's things that we're going to continue to build and grow on, but it starts off with a small seed, and now how big, how much you want to water it for it to turn big, because it can happen very quickly, So
we're gonna get the shit now.
Into the shits.
The thing about business, a lot of and now that you guys are successful business owners, you can understand that, right? But the thing with business is most people think that business is what you want it to be. Like, okay, I want my business to be this and I create it. But if the customer, the consumer is not receptible to what your business is, then you fail. It's very simple. You fail, right? It doesn't matter if you're a celebrity. It doesn't matter if you've been successful before in other businesses. In that business, if your product is not what the customers want, supply and demand, then you fail, right? So businesses, it has to be fluid. It has to be organic. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
My cousin was doing this podcast a year and a half before I came on, Cuzzo?
So to give you a little quick before Cuzzo go in, I was doing it for a company as a lead gen tactic, right before the pandemic. So I'm sitting there closing big deals. I'm like, yo, we have no brand visibility. Why don't I go on LinkedIn, build a brand, and have clients come to us? Pandemic happened. We closed a big $500,000 deal. I'm like, shit, my pipeline disintegrated. What are we going to do to keep leads coming in? I'm going to get you on the show, have a great vibe with you. Fuck the SEO shit. How are you surviving, bro? Like, how's the kids? How's the boom? You know what I mean? Let's talk like real people. And then you'll throw me a bone on the back end because we want to do business because you like how we are and the character of who I am. You know what I'm saying? And then we brought it over to more than a title, right? Like, I'm like, it's the same thing. If we close $2 million of business that way, what can we do for our own agency, right? So the people we have on, I would say 85 to 90% of our business has been through people that's been on the podcast.
Smart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As a lead gen.
But it's also developed. You understand what I'm saying, guys? Exactly. So just like, let's be clear. Like, so more than the title is the podcast, but our company is called OTB Digital. You see what I'm saying? We have a digital marketing company, we're a digital media company. And so the funny thing is the podcast is meant to drive leads towards the business. You understand? Yeah. So in our early stages of opening the business and creating the business, we did business mostly with the business.
Yeah.
Then the podcast ended up developing into what it was and changing. And then now it's the podcast and then the business.
Yeah, I'm saying, because the opportunity.
The podcast.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But that's because we weren't rigid. You understand? We understood that we were giving you the services, and we still do the business through the company, but it was clear as day that what the podcast was versus what the company was, it instead of the company being the priority and the podcast being the secondary as a lead gen, it needed to be the podcast first and the company second. So we're on our second and third iteration of our company as well. And we're talking about, possibly like rebranding and doing a couple things to start 2025 fresh again, right? Being fluid, right? Understanding what our consumers are asking us for, what our supporters are saying they like, and what they're saying they don't like, because you can't have an ego with that, right? You say like, oh, my product's the greatest, whatever your product or your offering is, and people are saying, no, we don't like that version of it, and not be willing to change, right? So we listen and we learn, and like you said, brother Des, listen, we love all comments. When people comment, good and bad, they put, I loved it, hated it, whatever and we still comment. You know why? Because all feedback is phenomenal, because
data.
It gives you data. It gives you knowledge on what somebody else's experience, again, outside the box looking in, is different from your experience creating it and putting it out. So, business has to be fluent. It has to constantly evolve with society and the times, and you have to always be ready to execute change, in order to survive. Any business that doesn't change will die. It doesn't matter.
But speaking of that, what was the toughest obstacle you guys faced in the business, right? Because I feel like every business has that one pinnacle moment where it can either make or break the business. And then after y'all guys, I'll go through ours. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
I can't say that it was necessarily hard for us, but something that is hard probably for most people is making it less about ourselves. Making it less about ourselves. And what I mean by that is, as soon as we got those funds that I was telling y'all about, what do? We put it right back in. We didn't go get at the time the 2022 or the 2021.
No SRTs or nothing like that. No.
You ain't gonna get you a scat pack.
I kept the 2013 and I still got a few feet out the door away from me.
Right.
I kept the 2013. Alan probably had a 2017, 2018. So he wasn't he wasn't doing bad.
2016.
Right.
Okay.
And we said, all right, we about to go get this 10, right? We about to hire this graphic designer. We're going to hire this copywriter. So that way, you know, as we continue to work in the business, we still get even just a little bit of time to work on the business while we got these soldiers with us, right? So that I recognize can be extremely hard for a lot of people, especially starting off when you don't got the luxury of still sitting on a really cushy salary and building the business. It's like sometimes you got to pick which one you gonna take.
Facts.
And in our case, we took, you know, the longevity as far as we saw it then. And then on top of that, being willing to develop those people, and that requires not only monetary, right, but also time. Exactly.
Time, bro.
Put into those people, because in our business, people are the product. So the same way the record labels that don't invest in their artists truly and genuinely don't last is the same way the agencies that don't, you know, they don't last. And then on top of that, just to wrap that all together, man, you just got to really be willing to do the unsexy parts, bro. You know, be willing to take on, you know, $10, $20, $30,000 in expenses a month, and know, like, if you think about it too long, you might scare yourself out of position, right? To keep climbing that mountain, like, damn, I could be putting this right back over here. But no, like, as long as it continues to make sense, right? $10,000 in expenses might be what you need to get $50,000 in revenue a month. And if it can come out green, it can come out green, you know? So
that's right.
I would say, again, don't get me wrong, it's not a cakewalk for us.
That's
but it's easier for us because I think we both share that common denominator of having vision and just knowing how to be a little selfless too, man, for the common goal.
That's real.
You agree with that, Alan, or do you have a different take on when you think it was one of those pinnacles?
Alan wanted the SRT, man. I had to.
You know what I mean? I had to scale back.
I want an SRT.
I am now.
I did not want the SRT. No, I echo those sentiments in a different way, though, man. It's not for everyone, right? Entrepreneurship or having a business. It sounds good on social media. They'll tell you, like, man, everybody should be an entrepreneur. I don't agree with that. Like, I don't, because it's not for everybody. It's the level of sacrifice that it takes, the level of, like, hey, I need to take away from my life the life that I feel like I deserve or earn, put that to the side for a second and focus on development. But when you think about it, all the Jeff Bezos, anybody you could think of, they all had to do it, man. I wish I could tell you there was some other, like, workaround around an easier route, like, you know what I'm saying? But it's just not, man. Like, you have to sacrifice in the early term to get the longevity, right? One word that we used that Dad started using was perpetuity, man. Like, no, you don't see it now, and that's biblical as well. You might not see it now, you know what I'm saying? But if you're patient and you're steadfast enough and you're willing to still put in the hours without that immediate return, the return that you do ultimately get is going to be bigger and more vast than you can even imagine, man. And that. and that's what we're living right now, man. It gets better. We know it gets better, but we also understand that, like, hey, if it wasn't for these steps that we took, that 200,000 we got from our first major deal, that could have been gone. You know, come on. So it's a lot of money to have, but in the grand scheme of things, do you want that in the short term, or do you want the million? the million that comes.
Just exited the business.
Like, exactly. You know what I'm saying? At that age in 2020, you know, I don't know anyone in my family that has been able to get that deal from their own business from a company. You know what I'm saying? They probably could have told me, like, hey, how much you keeping? I was like, it doesn't really work like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But they don't understand what goes into that, bro. The $200,000. I'm pretty sure for $200,000, there was a service in the SOW that you guys didn't execute yet, didn't know how to execute, said we're going to figure this shit the fuck out. Right? We got to figure out the margin on, you know, the vibes, bro, because we're going to take it. We're going to take the business. Yes, we can do that. Yes, we can do that. But you might not have that person. You have the copywriter. You have the graphic designer. Now you need a video editor. Now you got to outsource that, bro, and still make sure you maintain your margin, bro. It's a lot. You know what I mean? People don't really get it, yo. And I commend you, brothers, real shit, as an agency owner, because they don't even know how hard it is for us to get the deals. We doing a shitload of content to get our deals. a shitload of content. And I feel like even then it's hard. So I feel like if you're not doing that, if your work is not quality and you're not getting that word of mouth referrals, it's hard for us as a Black agency owners, bro. It's tough. Super tough.
Yep.
You got to kill what you eat.
That's it, bro.
Then you got to eat last.
That's it, man. What we talking about?
We try to teach people that you have to understand when you start a business, the business is like your child. I don't know if you guys are parents. You guys are parents?
There's a new parent, man. He about to celebrate maybe he's about to celebrate 1 year, man. Like, hey,
congratulations to them, bro, man. Congratulations, man.
Bro.
So you can definitely understand this, Des, right? Like, I have 2 children, right? The business is me and Jarrett's child. You understand? It like you. I knew you was gonna go there. When I was saying it, I'm like, he's gonna hit the fucking button on it.
That's on your face. That's I hated it.
But it still had to be said that way, right? We understood that the business has to thrive even when we're not thriving. You understand? That's the difference between starting a business, like you said, Alan, and then scaling the business, right? Starting the business and scaling the business. Let's just take like podcasts. People ask me all the time, right? Yo, I want to start a podcast. I say, do it. Get a microphone or, get something, do a vlog and start a podcast, right? And then they go into like, yeah, but I want to do this and I want to do that. And I'm like, yeah, that's not a podcast. That's a business. You have to understand the difference. And they're like, wait, what? And I'm like, a podcast is free. It's your personal opinion. It can be audio or video or both, right? Mm-hmm. And you just state your opinion and, put it out there. And if people don't like it, don't listen. And it's easy peasy, right? You set your schedule. You do what the fuck you want to do. But when you want to scale this thing, right? When you want to scale this thing and possibly have this thing now support you financially and then grow into a business, that's a completely different area. You understand what I'm saying? And we've taken deals, and I'll tell you right now, and if I'm, my cousin's right here, we've taken deals where we didn't pretty much see not one penny really off the deal, because guess what? We put it back into the company, right? We had to perform the task, right? We had to perform the task. There's certain things in the workings already, overhead bills, monthly overhead bills that have nothing to do with the services we're going to provide if we have to outsource the services or go hire somebody else to do it. This is just to keep the lights on. And we're like, we can't touch this money, because if we do, we can get something nice in the meantime. And then what happens to the business? What happens to the business, right? So at least for like a year, maybe more than a year, we didn't take not even one penny out the business.
That's the first year we didn't take anything, bro.
And that's with not even having a job.
Wow.
And that's with, we had cushy jobs when we started, and then we quit. Mm-hmm. Me and Jarrett both had cushy 6-figure jobs and high 6 figures and quit. So you understand what I'm saying? We recognize that. What are we doing, right? Are you playing the long game or the short game, right? The short game is get a couple dollars, get something nice, look good. That's playing rich. That's look, you playing the part of you. You understand? You playing, that's like hood rich, right? I don't want to be hood rich. I want to be wealthy, right? We want to create something that's systematic, that can produce generational wealth, not only for us, but for the future generations of our family, and then provide opportunities for our friends and our colleagues where we can help put them in position to do the exact same thing. We call it the cheat code. We're trying to create the cheat code. So if you want to create the cheat code, then you got to understand that this not a quick fix. You understand? This is something long term, and you have to be willing to be a lot selfish and say, nah, I'm not gonna go get the new Scat Pack, or you know what I mean? I'm not gonna get that Benz. I'm not gonna get this. I'm not gonna get that, because this business has to survive, and it's the primary goal. You know what I'm saying? Message. It's very, very difficult. I ain't gonna lie. Coming from our culture, where especially if it was raised with not having something, the moment you see something, you see them numbers and like, I can't get. You sure I can't get the Beamer? Like, you know what I'm saying? Beamer Benz. You can go to 2021. I can get the 2015 Beamer. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to go do it. It takes a lot of discipline, fellas. It takes an extreme amount of discipline and fortitude for you to do it, not only for yourself, but with your partner, right? With your partner, and be comfortable, because one could be like, nah, I want that car, and the other one is like, nah, we can't do it. Then what? You see?
Yep.
Then what? Now you're at an impasse where one wants to do something and the other one doesn't want to do anything. And that type of friction can definitely cause problems long term within the company if you're both economically not focused on the bigger goal, because then every time you get paid, one's going to want to take money out and one's going to want to keep money in. Yep. And then it's like that. You understand what I'm saying? So it's very difficult.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, man.
It's a blessing for sure. Yeah, it's a blessing to be in business with somebody that understands it, because it doesn't happen. You mentioned earlier on the episode, like, you know, you can name 100,000 people that you wouldn't do business with, right? When it comes time to people that you would, you know, that list starts to dwindle very quickly. So we don't take that lightly, bro. It's definitely a blessing for sure.
Shit, I don't even lend motherfuckers money no more, Alan. Fuck doing business. I don't even lend motherfuckers money no more. Can I hold 100? No.
Yeah, nigga, did you share something? Yeah, right. How the fuck you asking for bread? You ain't shared nothing.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Because Des, how many people back in the day, friends and family, you done lent money to and they never paid you back? And I'm talking like short bread, like $50, $100, and then got the nerve, the audacity to get mad at you if you ask for your homie. You said a week. It's been 4 months. How many?
I see him at the barbecue.
Yeah.
You shit on.
You tell him the latest chapter in the story of my life right now, Chadeo. I'm waiting on a call back from some money I put out about 4 months ago. I did 2 follow-ups, and that's it. 2 follow-ups, and it's all of, you know, with respect to people that $200 means a hell of a lot to.
Right.
$200, right? And I think this is also where the homies or the family can get it confused sometimes, right? Because when it's hard, bro, because we don't want to put a lid on like talking about the success, right? Although we still on this mountain, right? Recognizing we're not at the bottom of it completely. It's like you want to get that story out for inspirational and motivational purposes and to make me and you understand that we are actually doing this. But then sometimes friends or family will see that, hear that, and they get to listen and they're like, okay, oh, well, this $200 not a loan then. It's a grant. They like, oh, you wanted me to pay that back? Yes, my son wanted you to pay that back. Recognize that the company's success is not necessarily my own individual.
Yeah, it is.
That was rare.
That's a big message. You know, I call it a cheap lesson, Des. I call it a cheap lesson, right? I tell people, be intentional with your words with me. See, everybody learns different and everybody operates different. I'm a very fundamental person. If you use the word borrow, you better pay it back. See, very simple. If you say, yo, Chadeo, can I get $100? That means you don't plan on paying it back. You're asking me for $100, right? So now if I say, okay, yeah, here's the 100, there's no expectations. There it is.
Right.
But if you say, let me borrow, and then you go, and here's the time frame on when I'm gonna give it back, then I'm gonna let you know the stipulations. Listen, I don't care if it's $1 or $100. If you're borrowing something, it's the principle of the matter that you're asking me to borrow this money. Now, you asking to borrow this money, you don't care how I got it. You don't care what my bills are. You don't care about none of that. You just feel like I have it and you need it. Okay, no problem. But be clear. I'm going to hold you to the terms and the conditions of paying it back. And if you can't pay it back, all I ask is for a little communication. Hey, bro, I know I said today or whatever, you know, I ain't got it all. Here's, you know, half of that or whatever. Give me till next week. Boom. I shouldn't have to chase you for my money when I helped you out. So I've lost a lot of relationships, Des, Alan. I've lost a lot of relationships due to lending out money. And I'm talking like $100, $200. I mean, like family. Like I blocked you, because I'm not doing, like you said, you did 2 follow-ups. I'm gonna hit you. Hey, what's going on? Okay, or no answer. I'm gonna hit you one more time, just for the the confirmation that you didn't answer the first time or we on the same page. I'm gonna let you know, like, remember we talked about, right? Like, is our relationship And this is what makes you really think, right? Because we hold on to relationships for nostalgia, right? The people you grew up with, oh, I know you for 30 years, but so we hold on to these relationships for nostalgia, but is that relationship worth $100? And you will realize that a lot of people will devalue your relationship very, very quickly by their actions. So I tell people, like, if that $100 or that $200 that I lent you was worth losing me and what I bring to the table in this relationship, then no, there it is. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I call that a cheap lesson because I'd rather learn that now for $100 and $200 than later. You know what I'm saying? Right, for the big money, right? When you ask me for something major or something like that, right? So I call that a cheap lesson. You know what I mean?
That's real.
Yeah, no, it's very serious understanding that the company's success is not your personal success, right? But that comes with education and understanding when it comes to like business. See, that's the other podcast calling. Hold on.
They always do that.
No, you cannot get Des and Allen on the show. You got to do your own research. You got to do your own. Stop calling us.
Got to go to Black Week.
For guests.
They wasn't there.
Don't guess. Get the fuck out. They always want the source, but you know what I'm saying. But they always want the source. But it's funny because I don't know if y'all remember this, right? 50 Cent went through a funny situation, and this is one of the pivotal points in my business career that I absolutely loved hearing about business. I think he was getting sued or something like that. And they was taking him to court and he was like, I'm broke. And he was like, oh, you a millionaire and you this and this and that. He said, no, Curtis Jackson is broke. 50 Cent, the business, you know what I'm saying? Like the G-Unit, they're rich, but I'm an employee. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm an employee. Don't mistake the company for the person.
Yep.
Don't mistake the company for the person. So, like you said, Desmond, like people will hear your interview and people will hear about your success that your company is doing and assume that everything that your company is making equates to everything that you personally have in your pocket. And that's just not the case. You know what I mean? So, you have to just kindly remind them in a friendly manner.
I'm
like, don't count my pockets, nigga.
You know what? Niggas definitely count. First of all, I got casing on all you bitches. We put up clips of Shannon. Some of you motherfuckers ain't like it.
I'm telling you, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, we about to go crazy. But yo, bro, if y'all can give some advice, bro, to anybody who's listening, because we talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people that's in corporate America that want to get out. What's one piece of advice you would give them, bro, to make to create a successful business? What's one thing that you give them?
My one is don't be afraid to be uncomfortable. As a matter of fact, the moment where you feel most uncomfortable and most like I don't know, on the other side of that, very soon after that is when you're going to start to see the results and start to see that gateway open up. And it's not going to be easy. It's never easy. I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to be easy or it's going to feel good all the time. But at the end of the day, nothing that's ever worth what you want it to be is ever going to come easy to you. Like, get that out of your head. Like, we don't come from places that we don't get grants, as they said, from our people, from our grandfathers or generations that we just pass down, drop money on our heads. No, that's not how it works. If you want to do something that is generational building, you're going to do something for the first time, it's going to feel uncomfortable. How well you look at that in the face and say, like, I'm cool with that. I'm going to see it through. That's going to be the indication of how well you're going to do down the road. And that you can apply that to every single part of the journey. So that's
super real.
Yeah. Since we're talking about it, and my cousin brought it up, let's talk support. I'm curious. Let's talk support. You guys open up a business. You guys have friends and family. I'm pretty sure they knew that you opened up the business. What was the support like from your friends or your family to help you grow this business, to help you cultivate the business, to either get it off the ground or, continue? How has your circle been supportive of your business, especially your close friends, the ones that you were kind of thinking, I know they're going to support me? What does that look like? How has that been?
You want to take this out first?
Yeah.
No, I mean, listen,
it's
man.
real.
Listen, no political answers, man. Just give us the real, man.
It's not.
So
Yeah.
I'll keep it real. I got a different way of looking at this.
Okay.
So I think a lot of us go with the notion that friends and family are supposed to be our customers or our clients,
Okay.
right? Are supposed to be that close to the business. I think in certain cases that can be true, but I think oftentimes, again, these scalable type of businesses, they're not, right? And so we have to, because our Facebook post about selling this or selling that and DM me for more information doesn't go viral, we think that counts as a lack of support.
Okay.
Sometimes it is, but sometimes we need to look where the real opportunity is. You know what I mean? So that's how I look. I don't know if that's too.
Nah.
No, it's your point of view. You know, everybody got a different.
That's real. Yeah.
But I will say this though. We would not have our business if it wasn't for the support of family and friends.
There it is.
Case in point, right? Case in point, our first hire was someone we had already known for over a decade. And so
There it is.
once that first contract popped off and I took him to lunch and I was trying to, put this vision in his head, right? He cut me short. Dante cut me short and said, Des, I'm in. You don't got to sell me. I was already making the flyers back in college for the parties. You just need to do that. Just, on a whole different level. Let's do it. So without that relationship and without the support of him, we wouldn't have what we have here. And then
that's real.
As somebody that's been married 4 years, bro, to this very present time, like she's in the trenches with me, one way or the other. Sometimes being in the trenches isn't, hey, babe, come do this, write this copy, right? Or do this, whatever, pull this report. But it's, hey, make sure son is good while I'm doing this podcast.
Yeah.
Or I got to go, be heads down in this. And that's a commitment on her end. You know what I mean?
That's real.
Yeah.
We need that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, like they said on the outside look.
Hold on, Alan. I just want one question because you said something. So I'm just curious, Des. Did you get married? You said 4 years. How old is your business?
Business is 5 years.
5 years. Okay, so I just want to know the inception of how you met her because that's very important. Did you meet her when you had a job and then you became an entrepreneur, or did you meet her as an entrepreneur and she understood kind of like what she was getting herself into before you got serious and end up getting married? I just that we need that for content.
No, that's a really good question, man. So I'll say this: we met in college.
Okay, there you go.
Because of the lifestyle as students that Alan and I described to you all, right. I was going through. It was almost like an entrepreneurial lifestyle, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I don't just got 15 credit hours. You know what I'm saying? I got the student government meeting after all the classes. Then we got to plan out these events and so on and so on. So that, I think, being introduced to that already kind of equipped her with the brain to know what kind of came with it. And then as far as this business goes, funny enough, man, we got engaged around the same week, I believe, as we registered the LLC for Narratent.
Oh, there it is. I love it. Yeah.
Fire.
That's dope. That's dope. And I the reason, so you understand why I asked that question, is because we've had guests come on the show that were successful in business, working for other people, making a lot of money, and end up being married and had significant others that accepted that salary, that cushion that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
But when they decided to become an entrepreneur, right, that cushion is gone. That lifestyle must be a little bit more restricted. They end up ultimately losing their relationship because of the fact that they were starting their entrepreneurial journey and things had to be scaled back, and or some of the weight now and the responsibility had to be shifted to the partner for them to hold them down. This is both from the male to female and the female to male side. So we that's why I asked that question, because it's very important to understand the context of a relationship of when they met you and understanding if they knew what they were getting themselves into, or if you switch the situation.
I'll keep it all the way a stack, nigga. Mine's in reverse. I broke up with my BM the week I created the LLC. That's real shit. Wow. No, that's real shit. Not that played a part. A lot of things played the part, of course, but that's just what it is, right? And even if, because God is going to put who needs to be here in the situation. When we was at Black Week, I got my lady there now. She filmed all of our content with his son, our family doing it. We could have outsourced it. She didn't have to take off 3 days of work to come do that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? I believe you. I know what it is. Boom, boom, boom. And that's why he's asking that question, because like having that person allows us to be on this camera right now, allows us to be the best version of us to create that motherfucking generational wealth, man.
There you go.
That's crucial, bro.
Yeah. Go ahead,
and then one thing I'll add to Dez's point about family. A lot of my family, a lot of his family didn't know what the hell digital marketing even was. So even if they wanted to support, they don't even know which direction to even support in. So it's just like, yes, y'all doing something amazing. Thank you. Congratulations. But like, we're trailblazers in this arena, right? In at least in our family, like we have to tell them, like they ask, hey, what do you do? Y'all just do websites? No. But this is part of it, I guess, if you want to say that. But they're proud of us, and they do support us, right? They tell their friends and the people that they know, because I mean they see us, doing our thing. But again, that support sometimes is not because they don't want to support, it's just they don't know how to support. They don't know enough about it to even do that. You know what I'm saying? So our journey is a little interesting, right? It's not like we have shirts or merch or something that they can relate to immediately. You say digital marketing, Black digital. Oh, what does that even mean? So it means everything. And
you're right, Alan. And I just want to be clear though. Like when we talk about support, it is the initial point of interest that really just, I don't know what digital marketing is. Okay, why don't you ask? Hey, Alan, you started a business. I don't really know what digital marketing is, but can you explain it to me? Do you need any help? Is there anything that I can do for you? Ask the question. See, our issue with our society is most people will never ask the question. You know why? Because they don't really want to help. So they feel like if I don't ask him, how can I help? But that he can't hold me accountable if I don't help. You understand what I'm saying? Because if I ask if I need help, he might be like, hell yeah. What I need you to do is, and then you might be obligated to actually fulfilling what you actually said you wanted to do. That's our issue. A lot of people don't even ask. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of people they don't even ask. And I think that's a travesty, because it really limits our growth, not only as a business, but as a culture. You understand what I'm saying? When me and my cousin did music together, be clear, like we did music. I've been in music business like 20 years, a long time. You understand what I'm saying? We were doing music. Be clear, I knew absolutely nothing about podcasting. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I think I had 3 businesses at the time when Cuzzo came to me and said, yo, I want to turn this into a business. Let's partner up. I had 3 other successful businesses that I was running already. I knew absolutely nothing about podcasting. But guess what I said to him? I said, listen, I don't know nothing about it. See, I didn't fake the funk. I didn't come on like, yeah, I listen to podcasts. What the fuck is a podcast? But I asked him, I said, listen, bro, if you're willing to teach me, I don't know nothing about this, but if you're willing to teach me, I am willing to learn. I'll put my trust in you that you take the lead on this podcasting thing and, show me the way and educate me and help me grow with this thing. And I'll show you the way on the business side, and then we could come together. But it's about asking for the help. It's about asking and being intentional and just being honest, right? I said, bro, I don't know nothing about podcasting. And you know what he did? He sat me down and he started teaching me the basics. And then we started going to conferences and podcasting summits and conferences. And I started to learn this thing. So again, it's just about being intentional. Is, do you really want to help because you really want to help me? Or are you asking to save face, to say, well, I asked you, but I didn't know nothing about the business. So I wanted to help, but I didn't know nothing about the business.
Nigga was in there with the notebook, y'all. Nigga was I'm like, yo, son, nigga, shut up. Nigga, write your dad.
I write.
Nigga, what? It's the intro, bro.
My book is over here. I got a notebook, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I do. Like when people, I have no shame in my game, because we remember we talked about this at the at Black Week. You don't know everything. It's impossible to know everything. Even on one subject, it's impossible to know everything about it. So like, what is it about us that we have to front all the time? You understand? I don't want to forget shit. So while he's saying shit, I'm writing this shit down.
Yep.
Because again, I'm fundamental. You know, when you write it, it's easier to commit to memory. See, I know how I learn. You understand what I'm saying? When I went to college, I sat in the front and I got pages and pages of notes, and everybody used to look at me like I was crazy, but I never studied for tests through the book. I studied my notes because I'm a phenomenal note taker, because I know how to write down what I need to understand to learn the material.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So I wrote the shit down.
Yep.
And guess what? If there's times that I forget something, I can go back to the notes. You see what I'm saying? It's a reference guide for me now. You know what I mean? But it's just about, it's the ask. You know, a lot of people just don't ask. They just don't ask. Yep. And that's our issue. It's like, you see what I'm doing. You want to benefit from it later if you want a loan, right, Des? You want a loan, or you want some type of financial help, because that's what it ends up being when you're successful. Let's keep it 100, right, fellas? It ends up being financial help for most people, right? Yo, I need this, bail me out, I need this, I need that. So it ends up being fun. So you want me to end up helping you financially, but have you given me any type of help? Did you hand out a shirt, right? Did you come to one of my events and say, hey, I'll handle the door, I'll handle registration? You know, are you willing to help me out before and or after you ask for, you know, expect me to do these things for you financially?
Nope.
That's what we're talking about. And that's what Jarrett was saying. Like, we got a lot of people that just never ask. You understand, Des? So imagine you starting a business, Des, and you got a digital marketing company and you got friends, and then they go out and hire somebody else to do some shit that you did. How would they? Imagine you got friends that know what you do, love you, respect you, and go and get the same service that you provide from somebody else.
Yeah.
Could
We've had that happen.
Been figured out with the right question, right?
You understand what I'm saying? So this journey, we try not to let this journey jade us, fellas. You understand? I laugh a lot because we look at when we were younger, we look at other successful people through a non-business lens, like a child to a parent. Like when you're a child, you look at your parent through a child to a parent's lens. But when you become a parent yourself, you start questioning some of the shit your parent did, because now you're looking at them parent to parent, right? You're like, why the fuck did you do that when I was 7? I didn't like that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
The reality is, man, this I think is the dirty little secret when it comes to parenthood.
Yeah.
With the dirty little secret when it comes to business is that everybody is learning the shit as they go.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Nobody knows what they're doing. Truthfully, they're either learning, if they're fortunate enough to learn from somebody else, or they're learning through experience. There's no other way around it. I don't care what title it is. I don't care what the salary is. I don't care what privilege. I mean, some of us have to go about it, you know, different than others, because you might have a little more privilege than the next person to get you a little bit further along, a little bit faster. But even them people are still faking it till they make it.
Yeah, bro. I do want to ask y'all, because we talked about it earlier. I ain't really get to ask y'all this joint. We talking about Black Week, bro. How did y'all hear about Black Week? What was the illest shit that happened for y'all, man, at Black Week?
Man, where do I start, man? I think for me, the illest thing that happened at Black Week was the conversations with agency people that work at big agencies, large agencies, and the nuggets that they fed us like after the sessions, bro. Like it was so intimate and organic that it didn't feel like too larger than life, right? It wasn't too many people in the room at any one point in time. It was very, hey, let me ask you a question. They're gonna give it to you exactly how you ask it, like no PC or anything like that. And I took a lot from it. We got like 6-7 pages of notes, bro. Like we organized and I got to go through it more in detail. But there's things that I've already passed along to our team, that the certain level of standard that we need to have internally. Just the things that I've learned, bro. It wasn't just motivation. It was like hard facts and experiences that a lot of times you need. you know, you can't step in everyone's shoes, right? But if you can allow their experiences to inform your actions, right? They always say, like, you know, you got two different types of people in the world. You got the type of people that you can tell the oven's hot to, and they won't touch it, you know, and then you got the people that they need to touch the stove and get burnt and be like, oh, okay, I'll do it. I'm the type of person that you can tell me your experience and I can take and dissect it a bit and then try to make my own path. I don't have to, you know, I don't have to have a struggle story in order to understand what it is. So I appreciated them as being very the founders, and not just the founders of Black Week, but everyone that I talked to, different nuggets from different spectrums, and that was like the most unbelievable thing, man. Because we've been to conferences.
Was the one that stood out, bro? Because I gotta ask, was the one that stood out, one that was like, oh shit, now it was a bar, like, you know what I mean? What was that?
The Dr. Marcus Collins session about culture and how we consume culture, and I know he does his culture speech and his presentation. This is my first time seeing it live, right?
Yeah.
And the way that was set up and different. I'm a pop culture guy. I'm a lead creative at our agency. So me seeing that and seeing the different case studies that he had direct correlation with and the nuggets that he pulled out of that was like unbelievable. I had to stop taking notes. I'm like, I'm trying to watch and just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ever just be involved in something, you forget to take the note. Oh wait, hold on. It's just, you want to see the next. Yeah, exactly. So I think that was sure.
Everybody talking about his shit on LinkedIn, bro. I didn't see it, man. I'm like, sick. Fuck, that was big, bro. Yeah.
Alan, you got to get you a motherfucking GoPro. Look. This motherfucker right here with the spider legs, you heard?
Yeah.
I take this shit to conferences because of that, right? A lot of times we be taking notes and we be so into learning, but we be like, shit, I'm missing it. You set this little motherfucker up, let this little motherfucker record, and then again, same thing. You can watch it back. Some of the conferences, and I don't know if they actually incorporated this. I'm gonna call and ask them. It would be dope if they had access to the actual panels as a playback. I don't know. I didn't see that in the listing for the features for the tickets, because a lot of the conferences, depending on the level of your ticket, you have access to the playback, right? To the panels where they you know, you can download them and watch them again and again, because it's a lot of information, fellas. It's a lot of information, and you should be able to have access to it, you know, so that you can refresh them. You should be able to archive that and use it as an informational source, because it's a lot, man. It's a lot.
I ain't gonna. I'm gonna give y'all. I don't want to hear Des joint, man, but I'm gonna give y'all my bar, bro.
Yeah.
And this shit I heard was from Nate Parker, bro. Like, so we saw him. You know, if you guys don't know him, he's the big actor, was in Red Tails, created and funded the Birth of a Nation movie, right?
Yeah.
I'm going downstairs. I'm keeping it real. I went downstairs for a smoke break, bro. We sitting there. I'm like, yo, damn, we supposed to interview this one, that one. I'm like, damn, your shit's happening. Man, who we going? I want to create content. Son, seeing that, I'm about to get in the elevator. I'm like, yo, what's good, fam? Boom, bing. He literally was about to walk out the building, bro. Like, yo, son, now we the podcast for Black. We want to get you on the joint, bro. Boom, boom. We end up getting them, brought them to the green room, all that. End up having a 30-minute interview that was fire, bro. But when he was saying about the bet on yourself and how he was trying to pitch that movie, the brother was talking about how he prepared for that Birth of a Nation. He said he put up his own money, got a sharecropper to show him how to pick cotton, so it's realistic as possible. He said he did it and controlled him, but he took his socks off, was walking in the fields, doing all that, recreating everything, bro. He was like, yo, they wouldn't put up the budget for it. He looked at the president of the studio. He was like, yo, I don't care if you give me $1 million. I don't care if I got $10, I'm shooting this shit. And it was that level of determination, bro. It was like, yo, bro, that's the kind of attitude we need to get our projects off the ground. And if you believe in this shit, what are you willing to do to sacrifice to get that belief off the ground? That was just one of the realest. Like, we know this, but it's like to hear somebody do it, it's like, and
let me just add to that. Not only to hear him do it, after he was already successful. This wasn't his first movie. He's already successful. He's already got movies under his belt, and he's a working actor and businessman. So he didn't need to do that. Des, some of the biggest inspiration that we get, man, is from people that are successful and still fucking grinding, bro. You know, I'll be looking at Steve Harvey like, motherfucker, you like 70 and you still getting up at 5 a.m. You got 3 morning shows, 2 games. It's like you are still grinding as if you trying to make it. You understand what I'm saying? I think that's a testament to people to look at, like, yo, a lot of these people are super successful already. They could have been stopped working decades ago, and they still get up every day and get to it as if it's their first project. Like, if they're not successful, and if they can do that, and they're already successful, and they don't have to do it, then I think, like, for the people that are aspiring to even be successful, you don't have a choice.
That's it.
You understand? Like, imagine going to somebody with your business and they work 10 times harder than you and they're 10 times more successful than you, and you're showing them that you're lazy. Imagine what message that sends to them. Like, oh, you're not even ready because I work 10 times harder than you, and you asking me for the work, and you're supposed to be hungry. You're supposed to be the wolf at the door, and I'm outworking you. It just, you understand what I'm saying? It just sends a crazy message, man, about, once again, work ethic. Yeah. And what about you, Daz? What's one of the your favorite takeaways?
My mind started going a whole nother way with that, man.
Okay, yeah. Now that interview was real. Yeah.
But for me, man, I look at conferences like this. Like, what I find so compelling about conferences is that the value you get out of them is one part informational, right? What you learn, but then also who you run into, which is what y'all all just went through, right? Mm-hmm. So for me, I think that informational wise, I'll be honest, this session, by the look in the audience and how many empty seats there were, was slept on, and that was the one with John Hope Bryant.
Okay.
Operation Hope.
Okay.
I'm talking about the bars he delivered in that amount of time he was on stage, unmatched to anything. I don't care what person, what celebrity status they had, how much money they had. He dropped them, and his was all focused on economics and financial literacy, which is what Operation Hope is all about.
Yeah.
So he by far, to me, had the best delivery, next to Marcus Collins himself. Neck and neck. I think Marcus Collins just had the marketing spin on it. He had the economical spin on it. But then it was also like, man, it was dope to see, like, right, like we had already planned on we had planned on going to Black Week earlier in the year, right?
Yep.
But it was cool to see, like, as the days got closer and the lineup started to fill out, we looking at the lineup like, oh, we got clients that are speaking at the event.
There you go.
Circle. Or being in the hallway and running into people we're talking, having conversations with the week before about, them hiring us on as their agency, running into them in the hallway like, hey, we just got off a call with your team last week, man. Like, we working on this RFP, right?
Yeah.
And kind of, massaging the relationship in the hallway of Black for what could very well be like something that comes to life, man. So for me, that was dope, and that was unmatched. And for us, we don't take the decision to attend something like Black Week or any conference lightly, because we aren't awarded the privilege of getting a sponsored package from the employer. Like, that's that's coming out of the pocket, so to speak, the company's pocket, but still, like, we have to look at that as not like a free field trip to get away from the desk for a few days, but that's a real life investment, especially coming from Chicago to New York. So, man, for me, like I told y'all in the beginning, it was like a million man march with women, right? For this space. And I know we're all so much looking forward to this next iteration of it next year, man. So I can't wait.
It's so funny you said Million Man March. I literally asked Cuzzo like a week ago. I said, I'm gonna put up on social media. I'm gonna tell my kids this was Black Week, and I got the
And can I say this real quick, man?
Yes, sir.
Before it even kicked off, bro, opening night, when I met y'all fellas, and I'm getting the understanding for who you are, Chadeo, and then you, Jarrett, and then I see little homie on the side named TJ, Cameron, and you explaining like, oh, this is my son. He's on the team. I'm like, hold on. This your son, bro, and you got him in the trenches with you, man.
Yeah, man.
This is something that is dope to witness.
Yeah.
This is dope to witness.
That's real,
and that's
bro.
Black Week for you.
Yeah, man.
Real, bro.
You know, for me, I think it was it had to be Keith Weaver, man. Keith Weaver. You know what that is, Alan?
No, what session was that?
No. So, well, he did a session.
He did a session.
He did a session, but Keith Weaver is Fawn Weaver's husband. They own Uncle Nearest. Right?
Oh, yep. I did pop in on that set. We ended up going to another one. We did pop in on that one for a little second. Yep.
Yeah. We got a chance to sit down with him, man, and I think what he expressed was, even though they're one of the fastest and most prominent now, liquor brands growing, and they're getting all this notoriety, right? And they're getting all this attention and things of that nature. They are still in the trenches. Mm-hmm. They are still in the trenches. Like, they're going through almost the same exact thing at that level, moving that kind of product with that kind of income coming in, that a startup business or a medium business is going through, trying to scale. Mm-hmm. No VC capital, what it takes to get the VC capital, who's giving you the VC capital, you understand? Is it your own people? Is it other people? What opportunities are being provided to you? Is it your own people? It was refreshing to know that even at a company that's worth a large amount of money, millions and millions and millions, they are still in the trenches. Yeah. So it's a reassurance to say, oh, I'm on the right path. You know what I'm saying?
Another lesson. I was gonna say another piggyback. Another lesson they said, bro, was that they tried to give the story back to Jack Daniels. So the Uncle Nearest story. Uncle Nearest taught Jack Daniels how to make whiskey.
The whiskey.
So they tried to collaborate with Jack Daniels, and they turned them down.
No.
And they said, you know what? We're gonna turn it into a brand. And look what they did, bro.
Yeah.
So like just that, believe in back to bet on yourself. Bet on yourself.
But imagine that, right? Imagine there's a lot of times that we go through things, and as business owners, where it's like, are we on the right path? Where you question, like, are we on the right path? Should I pivot at this point, right? Should we rebrand? Should we do this? Should we do that? And then you talk to people that are more successful than you and say, yeah, I went through that. And you're going to go through that 10 times again, 10 times again, 10 times again. And but that's what it takes. If you want to get here, that's what it takes. It's just refreshing, and it's reassuring to let you know that you're on the same path as them, and you're on the right path. Because there's a lot of days, and we talked about, like, some of the days where it's like one of those moments where you like, nah, I ain't doing this no more. Right? We talked about that. And Cuzzo was going to tell a story. He didn't tell a story, but we got is a couple points in business. I'm sure everybody gets to a point where a deal doesn't go the way it's supposed to, or things are not going the way you think they should go, or in a sustainable fashion where you're like, might have to close it, shut the doors, turn the lights out. But when you understand that this is the journey, this is part of that's why we ask you guys to come on and tell your story. That's why your stories are so important. That's why we want a multi-angle of your story, from the startup to how you met to the support system, right? You have to understand what the journey is like, because if you only come on the show and just talk about, we're great, we do this, we make millions of dollars, we're phenomenal, how does that help the culture? Because then they think they can just go out and copy your success. They think that they can go out and get a $200,000, even a $100,000 deal in their first deal. And they don't understand what the structure took to put you in position to get that deal. That's why you guys' story is so important. That's why we give you guys your flowers in the intro, to make sure people understand that you are not an overnight success.
That's a fact. And still growing and still scaling and still going through it, bro. So like just we've had a lot of brothers on, bro. Like y'all younger than me, bro. I'm 36, man. What y'all have done to this point, coming from another agency owner, is fucking impressive.
Yeah,
I commend you, brothers, for going and staying on the grind, doing what y'all doing, making sure y'all was in rooms like Black Week, bro.
Yeah.
Now, next year for Black Week, you're a part of the family. You know, you're part of more than we had about 50 guests in that room, bro.
Easy.
50 guests.
Easy.
So we were able to say, yo, come here, talk to this one, talk to that one, talk to this one. Yo, Erica, you know Lola? Yo, Lola, you know Dr. Collins? You know this one? Yo, Walt, you know this one? Yo, it's Simon Cook from Con. Yo, you know this one? Yo, what's going on? And they're like, who the fuck are these guys? and we kicked their ass, bro. And that's what it's about, bro. And y'all part of this community. We are honored for y'all to be the part of this community. Anything we can do as a prior guest, past guest, anybody we have on the show, you guys have access to. It's not a question. You got access.
We don't gatekeep, man. And let me tell you something. Be clear. Once we really start understanding more about your business, a lot of the times you don't even have to make the ask. I'm just going to tell you ahead of time, like the way we operate is if we see a play for you, whether it has anything to do with us or not, if we see a play for you that could potentially be a great play for you, we're going to make the introduction and we're going to hit you up and say, yo, Des, yo, Alan, we might have a play for you guys. Have the conversation. We'll plug you in with whoever the play is with, and then we step away. We don't moderate that. We don't mediate that. You guys are grown. You do what you do. We just make the introduction and, you know, break the ice and, hey, A is B, B is A, and, you know, introduce yourselves and see you later. You know, and even if you can't make it happen in the moment, maybe, again, the seeds, right? Maybe it can happen in future. Now you have a new connect, right? Or, you know what? At least the conversation was had, because the more conversations you have, the more opportunities you will get presented with. You know what I'm saying?
That's it. That's what we on,
You know?
bro.
Yeah.
That's love.
Huh?
Vice versa. Vice versa. Yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate it. I got a question for you guys. So what's the vision? What's the ultimate goal now, the vision for your company? If you had to tell us what you would actually want your company to look like ultimately, right? Like the pinnacle of success for your company, what would that actually look like?
Yeah,
man.
In our space, what's top of mind for us is this thing called AOR, Agency of Record.
Okay.
That means, you know, not just being tapped for the project here, the project there, not just being the multicultural or the Black agency that gets called for the Black projects.
Yeah.
But like, hey, we're on the line for whatever and however. You know what I mean? And so that's what we're focused on becoming. Right.
But how do you tap in? For us to tap into that, then you're battling the McCains, you're battling the WPPs, right? You're doing the request for proposals. You got to see the person in the hallway, right? We know the relationships already had in the back door. How do you tap into that? Us as Black agencies, even some of the bigger ones are having that issue. How do we become AORs?
Yeah, I think what somebody from one of those big agencies out there gave me a piece of advice on is recognizing that sometimes the pivotal opportunities come from the least suspecting opportunities, right? So sometimes you get, you know, tapped to do the work that nobody else is focused on or wants to do, right? Like case in point, real quick. You got these big CPG companies, the Procters and Gambles and the Unilevers, right? Everybody wants to work with the Doves or the Tides or the, you know, the big daddies, right? But it's the forgotten stepchilds that may not have 300 million, 500 million a year to throw at marketing and advertising, but they might have 50 million, right? You might be able to get 5 out of that 50 million. And for us, man, we just want a piece of the pie. You know what I mean?
I'm going to tap. When Alan finishes, you're going to tie directly into that because you know what you said already. So you're going to tie directly into that. Go ahead, Alan. Because Cuz already said something. So it's funny that you said exactly what you said. He's going to tap in right into that. Go ahead, Alan.
Sure. And just quick, fella.
Yeah.
We don't have to hop off of here shortly, man. As much as we want to stay on, we got a client waiting on us.
Okay. Yeah. Well, listen. We let Alan just real quick answer the question, and then we know we can definitely end it off. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I was just gonna say, going back to what Dan said, it's also about the relationships, man. Like we recognized a long time ago that the relationships are the currency more than anything. And you know, for our purposes, the reason that we are rooms like Black Week and other conferences and meeting gentlemen like yourself is build genuine relationships, and whatever that leads to is meant to be for you, for the agency, for wherever else we're building, man. We're growing quickly, and we just want to continue to foster. At the end of the day, we believe in those organic relationships, and that's going to take us wherever we need to go. And that's what it's about. So
that's real. I'm saying, with that being said, and I was gonna say, with that being said, to let people know where y'all can, link up with y'all, bro. I know a lot of people gonna be inspired by this, bro. Where they can connect with y'all.
Sure. LinkedIn, Instagram, Desmon at Narratent.com, Alan at Narratent.com. We're Narratent on all social media platforms. Narratent.com. If you might have some interest in doing business with us. And out here in these streets, man, Black Week.
Outside, baby. Make sure y'all hit them up, man. These brothers are it, man. Y'all gonna see a lot of these brothers, man. We proud of y'all, man. Keep doing what the fuck y'all doing, man. Thank y'all for coming on the show, man. And we love what we do. This is why the fuck we do it, man. To highlight brothers like them, man. Straight up.
And they're like this in real life, ladies and gentlemen. Be clear. You're seeing them on the show, but we met them in person, and this is exactly how they was in person.
Right.
Welcoming, welcoming, and it was just a phenomenal experience meeting you guys. We appreciate you guys for coming on the show.
Yeah,
Part of the Morning Excited
invite, man. Sorry, we gotta cut it.
Nah, you good.
You
and listen,
good,
we're gonna end this episode off, guy, Cuzzo.
Nah, I was just gonna say, man, you already know we got another great episode next week. Antonio Hendrickson, we got some fire ones, man. Like we told them off screen, we're gonna do some fire content. We got some people we met at Black Week. We're gonna do some walkthroughs. We got some amazing content. Who else but us, man? It's more than the title. See y'all for 157. You dig?
What you know about me? Seen it all, heard it all. Oh, what you know about me? I done it all, just want it all. Oh, what you know about